Hello and welcome back to the Madden NFL 24 two-a-day off-season series. Each day I plan on posting an AFC and an NFC team up until the new free agency year, which starts in mid-March. Today we're going to talk about let me do my random team generator. Today we're going to talk about the Denver Broncos. All right, let's get it out of the way. It has been a tough almost decade since Peyton Manning retired for the Broncos. Not only have they mismanaged the quarterback position and not drafted extremely well, but the salary cap situation is also in a very bad spot. They are apparently sitting at 28 overall with negative $25 million in available cap space, and that's best case scenario. More likely, they're sitting at about $40 million in the hole. So yeah, a lot is going to have to be done. So as many issues as the Broncos have, they do not have that many top unrestricted free agents. Now, they traded Bradley Chubb, Randy Gregory, Von Miller the past couple of years, so maybe that's why. But they don't have anybody over an 80 overall ranking. So their top free agent is middle linebacker Josie Jewell. Solid player, but nearing 30 years old, and inside linebacker in the 3-4 defense is usually the least quote-unquote important position on the team. He's coming off back-to-back seasons where he had over 100 tackles each year. Quality player, but nobody you're going to break the bank for. Denver's second highest ranked free agent is center Lloyd Cushenberry at 77 overall. Denver drafted him in the third round in 2020, and he has developed into a solid starting center. This is probably the player Denver would most like to re-sign. 77 overall is very good as far as offensive linemen. They're rated a little differently than a lot of other positions in Madden. That's a quality starter. He's only 26 years old, and Denver's offensive line is not the best, and they really can't afford to lose Cushenberry, but they also don't have any cap space, and other teams are going to throw some money at the guy. Denver's number 3 free agent is cornerback Kawan Williams, rated 76 overall. 32 years old, 5'9", 185, definite third cornerback / slot cornerback at this stage in his career. Although a veteran, he still has quite a bit left in the tank and will help somebody. Denver's 4th ranked free agent is cornerback Fabian Moreau, rated 75 overall. So like Kawan Williams, Moreau is a well-traveled veteran. Denver was his 4th team in the past 4 years. Has only missed a small handful of games in his career, playing at least 16 games in 5 of his 7 seasons. So he'll be out there on the field, but is another guy who's just going to be a depth signing somewhere. Denver's 5th ranked free agent is defensive tackle Mike Purcell, 70 overall. Purcell has been in the NFL for 8 years, past 5 with Denver. Clear backup behind DJ Jones at nose tackle. He won't be missed. What else could Denver's top need be? Since Peyton Manning retired in 2015, this is the list of Denver starting quarterbacks: Brock Osweiler, Paxton Lynch, Trevor Siemian, Case Keenum, Joe Flacco, Drew Lock, Brandon Allen, Jeff Driscoll, Brett Rippon, Teddy Bridgewater, Russell Wilson, Jarrett Stidham, and also, hilariously enough, running back Philip Lindsay during that one game in 2020 where everybody else was out due to COVID. So it hasn't gotten any better. Russell Wilson has been an abject failure in Denver. He and head coach Sean Payton clashed, and Wilson is 99% sure going to be gone. Unfortunately, there's nobody else on the roster, and Denver is going to pick too low to draft one of the top 3 quarterbacks in this class. But there is some available later on if they like somebody like Bo Nix, JJ McCarthy, those kind of guys. So we'll see, but quarterback once again is going to be probably led by a different player in 2024. Denver's second biggest need is cornerback. Patrick Surtain II is obviously a stud, rated 95 overall, one of the better cornerbacks in the NFL, but there is nothing behind him. As previously mentioned, Denver's second and third best cornerback are both free agents, and the rest of the guys on the roster are just placeholders. The Broncos should probably spend a couple of draft picks to get more guys, because you need 3 guys rated at least 75 in Madden if you're going to keep up with the passing offenses in the NFL. Denver's third biggest need is outside linebacker / pass rushing. Like I've said before, Denver traded away Randy Gregory, Bradley Chubb, and Von Miller the past couple of seasons, all pass rushers. So obviously they need help there. It's not all bad. Jonathan Cooper, Nick Bonito, Baron Browning, those are all some pretty talented young guys who had at least 4.5 sacks. Cooper had 8.5, Bonito had 8, Browning had 4.5, but they still don't have that one guy who really instills fear in the eyes of the opposing quarterback. So basically, Denver needs help at every level of their defense. So after cornerback, outside linebacker, I have defensive end as their number 3 need. So running a 3-4 defense, you mainly want guys who can stop the run. So pass rushing isn't the most important thing, but it would still help to get somebody who can get after the quarterback. Zach Allen had 5 sacks for Denver last year, but he's shown that he's an average starter. And other than that, there really isn't anything on the roster to get too excited about. Denver's number 5 need is wide receiver. So there's talent on this roster. Cortland Sutton, Jerry Jeudy, Marvin Mims, Tim Patrick. They've all flashed at points in their career, but you could say as a whole, it's been a very underwhelming unit. I'm not sure what's up with Jeudy. He's involved in a lot of trade rumors. Cortland Sutton struggled. A lot of it has to do with Russell Wilson, obviously, but they could use a true alpha wideout. Cortland Sutton could be that, but this unit as a whole has been extremely underwhelming. Denver's salary cap is a nightmare, so they aren't going to sign any top free agents. Quarterback is definitely the biggest need. Russell Wilson will probably be gone, and they won't be able to draft a top quarterback. They could draft a guy, but he will have to develop, so I could see them signing somebody like Ryan Tannehill. There are a few mid-level quarterbacks who might have 1 or 2 years of starting ability left in them. Tannehill is nearing the end of a pretty productive career. He outlasted both Andrew Luck and Robert Griffin, the 2 guys who were drafted ahead of him a decade ago, but he doesn't have much left. I still think he would be an upgrade over Jarrett Stidham. Small upgrade, but an upgrade regardless. That might be the kind of quarterback Denver has to go after until they can draft somebody. Denver needs beef along the defensive line. A'Shawn Robinson only has 7 career sacks in 8 years in the league, but he is one of the better run defenders as far as 3-4 ends. He has a lot of experience in that system. Detroit, the Rams, and the Giants, the 3 teams he's played for, they've all run that system, and he shouldn't cost an arm and a leg. Take your pick with whatever 78 to 80 rated cornerback you want, but I chose Sean Murphy-Bunting. After 4 decent years in Tampa, where he had to deal with a lot of injuries, he managed to play 14 games with the Titans, was okay. He might be one of those guys looking for a starting spot to rebound his value and try to get that one last contract. The Broncos are in a very tough spot. Years of bad trades have left them without a lot of first-round picks, so their depth is suffering. The Russell Wilson trade was a huge disaster. They had to deal yet another first-round pick for Sean Payton, so it's been a mess. This is life without a franchise quarterback. As a Dolphins fan, I saw it for 2 decades. Broncos fans have seen it for a decade. This is why those guys get all the money they get, because without a quarterback, it's really, really hard to build a winning roster and a long-lasting one as well. Denver is in a position to draft a tier 2 quarterback. Bo Nix, Michael Penix, J.J. McCarthy, but I don't think those guys are ready to really come in and play right away. Maybe the Washington quarterback, but I'm not a huge fan. He's 25 years old and has suffered 3 season-ending injuries. I mean, he had a fantastic season in 2023, but I can't count on him as my long-term option. Maybe I'm alone in that opinion. I don't know. But Bo Nix, J.J. McCarthy, those guys will probably need to sit for a year or so. So Denver doesn't have a second round pick. Do they want to punt yet another draft? They need players so badly. So if they choose to go a different direction at quarterback, there's a few guys I really like for them. Jerzon Newton, I think, would be a really good defensive end. Jared Verse as a pass rusher. Those are a couple guys that have sat on top of my mock to the Broncos picks in the past few months. It's tough. Denver's in a tough spot. It's really hard to improve when you don't have salary cap space, you don't have draft picks, and you don't have a quarterback. So we will see what Sean Payton is actually made of. And that's my Denver analysis. Thank you guys for sitting through this. I hope you guys are enjoying this series. I'm having a lot of fun making it. It's a lot of work to put these videos together. I'm trying to do something that looks a little bit more entertaining and not so amateurish. So I hope you like it. If you like it, please give it a like. Please subscribe if you haven't. Check out the rest of the videos. There's going to be a bunch of them. There'll be a playlist that you can find all the videos listed. And stay tuned for more. Thank you so much, guys, and have a good one.